The 15 most mysterious and bizarre archaeological discoveries that shocked scientists around the world. Hey guys! All throughout history, the ruins and traces of ancient civilizations have never failed to spark our curiosity, and sometimes even blow our minds. Every archaeological find isn't just a piece of history, it's like a doorway to mysteries we still haven't solved. Have you ever wondered if what we know about the past is really the full story? From mind-bending stone structures to strange artifacts with unknown origins, archaeology keeps challenging scientists and making us rethink everything we thought we knew. In today's video, we're diving into 15 of the weirdest and most shocking archaeological discoveries ever found. So what exactly were these finds? And what kind of secrets from the past are they hiding? Let's jump in and find out. The werewolf skull. If on an ordinary morning in the fields, what you dug up wasn't stone or tree roots, but an ancient wooden box, bound tightly in chains as if meant to imprison a secret no one should know, what would you do? You probably can't imagine it, right? But that's exactly what happened to Traichi Draganov, a simple Bulgarian farmer living in the town of Novo Selo, Macedonia. While preparing the soil for the new planting season, Draganov unexpectedly uncovered a decayed wooden chest buried deep in the ground. Strangely, this box didn't resemble any farming tool he had ever seen. It was tightly wrapped in rusty chains and securely locked, as if someone had gone to great lengths to ensure that no one could ever open it. Driven by curiosity, he broke the chains and opened the box. What he saw inside left him utterly speechless. And guess what? Inside the box was a skull that looked like it belonged to a wolf. But what shocked everyone was the unusually large, bulging top of the skull, a trait never seen in animals, only in primates and humans. The skull had the fierce look of a wild beast, but also a strange and disturbing shape that defied ordinary logic. News of this shocking discovery quickly reached historian Filip Ganev, who happened to be in Novo Selo, gathering materials for a book on the Balkan Wars. After seeing the skull for himself, Ganev immediately took photos and sent them to the authorities. However, the official statement from the Macedonian government left many disappointed. They claimed it was simply the skull of a wolf suffering from chronic bone disease, a rare condition that could deform the skull. But here's where the story gets even more mysterious. The disease they mentioned is typically found in humans and is extremely rare in wild animals. So how could a wolf contract a condition that usually only affects people? And why was the skull carefully stored in a chained box, as if imprisoning something dangerous? To answer this, we must look back to the folklore of the ancient Balkan region, where werewolves are not just legend, they are a deeply rooted fear passed down through generations. Some even believe werewolves are the cursed souls of those who committed grave sins, doomed to wander forever. One legend claims that werewolves can only be destroyed on Saturdays when they return to their graves to rest. The only way to prevent their resurrection is to sever the head and burn the remaining body. If that's true, then the fact that the box contained only a head might indicate that someone performed a sealing ritual to prevent the creature's return. But did Traichi Draganov unknowingly break that seal when he opened the box? What's unsettling is that while Traich was proud of his strange discovery and willing to show it to anyone interested, the villagers of Novo Selo didn't see it the same way. They believed he had awakened something that should have been left alone, and they feared the return of the werewolf. Traich shared his growing unease. They think my actions will bring the werewolf back, but what's done is done. Whatever's coming is coming. So, what do you think? Was it merely the deformed skull of a wolf, or a remnant of a terrifying creature that once haunted the ancient Balkans? If you have an answer, feel free to leave a comment below. As for me, I believe the answer may still lie buried in that very same field, or worse, it may have already awakened, waiting for something in the near future. The 5,000-year-old tombs on the Witches' Hill of Ireland. Scattered across the east and west Carnbane Hills in the Loughcrew region of Ireland lies a rugged landscape that holds over 30 stone tombs. Interspersed with earthen mounds, these ancient stone structures exude a mysterious and otherworldly beauty. According to Irish folklore, this area is known as the Witches' Hill. Legend says the tombs were created by giant witches who accidentally dropped stones from their aprons while flying overhead. Unlike other megalithic structures such as Stonehenge in England or Newgrange, also in Ireland, the Loughcrew tombs are dated to around 3500 to 3200 BCE, making them over 5,000 years old. It's said that from the highest cairn here, you can see across 18 regions in the Loughcrew area. Although not a heavily visited tourist spot, those who make the journey are often left deeply impressed. The central tombs are the main focus of attention. Among them is Cairn T, one of the oldest ancient burial sites in the world, and the oldest known unsupported stone structure still standing. It remains largely intact today, surrounded by over 40 upright stones forming a circular perimeter. These tombs were not built randomly. Their construction shows a deliberate alignment toward the sunrise during the summer and winter solstices. Every morning at dawn, the tombs are illuminated by beautiful golden light. Some scholars believe the ancient Irish possessed significant astronomical knowledge and closely tracked the sun's movements. Others suggest these alignments had spiritual or religious significance. Twice a year, when day and night are of equal length, sunlight floods the hills, even reaching into the darkest corners of the tombs, illuminating the carved patterns on the stone walls. The most striking feature of Loughcrew is its unique rock carvings. The ancient people etched concentric circles, floral patterns, and crosses into the stones. Some believe these weren't merely decorative. One theory suggests that the carvings represent the astronomical understanding of the time, perhaps even maps of the stars and planets. While this idea lacks broad academic support, another plausible theory posits that the carvings represent forts or settlements. Researchers studying many of the cairns believe they were not only tombs, but also ancient calendars used for determining crop cycles. In the 1980s, Martin Brennan discovered a mysterious stone at this site and called it the Backstone. It's one of 26 stones in Cairn U and is believed to hold spiritual significance still not fully understood. Unfortunately, the area has yet to receive the recognition it deserves. Locals have fenced it off for sheep grazing. A heritage site that might contain messages from a long-lost civilization now sits quietly forgotten in the lush Irish meadows. Maybe it's time we look at places like Loughcrew, not just as tourist attractions, but as possible clues to a prehistoric world that humanity still doesn't fully understand. Could it be that these ancient tombs still hold secrets we're not yet ready to unlock? The burned remains of a medieval young woman. At the San Calicero complex in Albenga, Italy, archaeologists uncovered a set of human remains that shocked the world. These were the charred bones of a young woman who lived sometime between the 9th and 15th centuries. She had been burned and buried in a grave sealed with heavy stones. This unusual burial method reflects not only fear, but utter terror. People believed that even in death, this girl posed a threat. But why? What would cause a young woman to be treated like a monster? Imagine living in a medieval village where darkness envelops everything as soon as the sun sets. Whispers of witches, demons, and curses spread like a cold wind. In such a world, a girl with pale skin, sunken eyes, and a frail body could easily be seen as a manifestation of evil. That was the fate of this young woman. The story becomes even more chilling when we learn this wasn't an isolated case. At the same site, in 2014, a team of archaeologists led by Professor Felipe Pergola excavated the remains of another girl, only 13 years old, who had been buried face down, a burial practice from ancient times believed to prevent the dead from rising. Other burial methods, such as placing bricks in the mouth, driving stakes through the heart, or even decapitation, all reflect a deep fear of the so-called lost souls. But what exactly caused these two girls to be treated this way? Further analysis revealed that the burned young woman suffered from severe anemia and parodic hyperestosis, signs of extreme malnutrition. Her weak tooth enamel and small body, standing only about 4 feet 9 inches tall, tell the story of a harsh, impoverished childhood. Perhaps her pale complexion and bruised skin led the villagers to panic, branding her a witch. Anthropologist Elena Delou revealed, "The girl was burned when her body was still soft, meaning the cremation may have taken place just before or shortly after death. Was she still alive when the fire was lit?" That haunting question sends chills down the spine. Now place yourself in the context of the Middle Ages, when science was in its infancy, and anything unexplained was attributed to demonic forces. A sickly girl with a frail body and unusual appearance easily became the focus of collective fear. The rushed burial, the stones thrown onto the grave, and even the burning of her body all speak to a desperate community trying to protect itself from what it didn't understand. But the heartbreaking truth is that these so-called witches were likely nothing more than victims of illness and prejudice. They did not deserve such cruelty. The story of the young woman at San Calocero is not just an archaeological discovery. It is a window into the human psyche of the Middle Ages. It reminds us that fear, when left unchecked, can lead people to commit acts of terrible inhumanity. Two beasts found alive inside a 500-year-old monk's tomb in China. What was thought to be a forgotten tomb has revealed a secret not found in any history book. Not gold, not treasure, but life? A creature thought to have vanished from the earth over half a century ago? That's exactly what happened during a mysterious excavation in China, where the tomb of a Ming Dynasty monk suddenly became the center of attention, not for artifacts, but for the shocking appearance of two living, unidentified creatures. During the Ming and Qing dynasties, tomb raiding was a thriving underground profession, defying all royal decrees. These grave robbers didn't target ordinary tombs. They sought out the resting places of royalty, aristocrats, and the wealthy, where both bodies and riches lay hidden. But there was one unusual exception: the tomb of Chan Master Yanzhu Guang, a renowned monk in Sichuan. Unlike most monks, he wasn't cremated but was buried at Tianla Mountain in Longchang, China. Rumors of attempted tomb raids circulated, but strangely, no valuable items were ever reported missing. Some believe the monk was buried without treasures. Others think the thieves were so careful that they left no trace. It wasn't until China's 2009 nationwide cultural heritage survey that the tomb was officially reopened. Archaeologists worked tirelessly to clear the entrance, which had been heavily damaged by time. Inside, they found a small stone chamber, about 20 feet long and 10 feet wide, nearly empty. There were no relics, no Buddha statues, only a simple stone tablet with a brief biography of the monk. The excavation seemed destined to end in disappointment until something stirred in the shadows. A faint glow flickered in the dark. Two glowing green eyes stunned the team. Suddenly, two strange creatures emerged and bolted from the tomb, moving so fast no one could react in time. They vanished into the surrounding forest, leaving behind stunned faces and a flood of unanswered questions. Fortunately, a few team members managed to snap photos of the animals. When the images were analyzed, experts were stunned to learn the creatures were raccoon dogs, a wild species once native to the Longchang region, thought to have gone extinct in the 1950s. According to records from the forestry department, there had been no sightings of raccoon dogs in over half a century. The eerie glowing eyes, resembling will-o'-the-wisps, were simply the animals' eyes reflecting dim light. Their unexpected presence sparked a wave of speculation. Had they really gone extinct? Or had they been silently surviving in some forgotten corner of the world? And if not for this excavation, would we have ever known they still existed? Though the tomb yielded no precious artifacts from the past, the rediscovery of a species thought extinct was an unprecedented event. This time, instead of gold, humanity found life within an ancient tomb, a strange and miraculous paradox of death and rebirth. The story of Chan Master Yanzhu Guang's tomb serves as a reminder that history is not only written in lifeless objects, but also in the things we thought were lost forever. Sometimes in a pair of wild eyes gleaming in the darkness of a 1,000-year-old tomb. The White Ghost in a 1,000-year-old tomb. In late 2007, in Jingzhou, Hubei Province, China, a construction site near Jingsha Avenue was carrying out its usual work, just like any other day. Suddenly, a shout echoed through the dusty air. "A huge hole has appeared! It seems there's something down there!" The workers immediately stopped what they were doing, and within moments, the entire construction site fell eerily silent. The local people were no strangers to archaeological stories. After all, Jingzhou was once the capital of the Chu dynasty, where it was common to find remnants of the past just below the surface. Therefore, as soon as the strange hole was discovered, the construction site representatives quickly alerted the local Cultural Heritage Bureau. Archaeologists arrived swiftly. Upon assessing the site, the experts determined that this tomb was not from the Chu dynasty, but from the Han dynasty. After digging down to a depth of about 6.5 feet, the shape of the nearly 1,000-year-old tomb began to emerge. It had a funnel shape, narrowing from top to bottom, covering an area of approximately 260 square feet. Eventually, the archaeologists uncovered a massive coffin at the center of the tomb. The coffin measured over 13 feet long and more than 10 feet wide. Surrounding the coffin were various burial items. At that moment, the archaeologists made an unexpected discovery. The coffin's lid featured a wooden frame, connected in a circular shape with wooden joints. Excited by this find, the experts were eager to open the coffin and examine what lay inside. However, they could not have anticipated the strange event that was about to unfold. Suddenly, a grayish-white human shape appeared on the lid of the coffin, sending a chill of fear through everyone present. After regaining their composure, the experts speculated that it could be an image of the tomb's owner. Some even suggested it was a spiritual phenomenon. Regardless of what the figure was, the archaeologists could not immediately explain its cause. Nonetheless, they decided to open the coffin. To their surprise, they found it filled with a liquid substance, on top of which lay numerous pieces of silk fabric and a wooden plaque bearing the name of the deceased. Beneath it all were the skeletal remains of the tomb's owner. Based on the remaining records on the wooden plaque, the tomb's occupant was a woman named Hui, who lived to the age of 50. Subsequent analysis of the figure on the coffin lid revealed the truth behind the spiritual phenomenon in the 1,000-year-old tomb. The figure was, in fact, caused by mold spores that formed when the silk fabric inside the coffin decomposed. These spores had randomly left an imprint on the coffin lid. But whether it was a scientific explanation or a natural occurrence, the moment still sent shivers down the spine. Because sometimes the past does not simply lie still beneath the earth. It quietly lives on, through fragments of fabric, pieces of wood, and even shadows that we cannot fully explain, right? The 20,000-year-old woman's tomb in the hunter's hut. If you've ever believed that cremation was a practice that began only about 10,000 years ago, a recent archaeological discovery from Jordan will make you rethink the entire history of humanity. Why do I say that? It's because archaeologists recently uncovered a strange, mysterious tomb that defies all previous scientific understanding, opening a window into a sacred ritual from nearly 20,000 years ago. Specifically, this discovery occurred at Karane 4, a remote site in the desert region of Jordan, where excavations began in 2015. At first, archaeologists only found pieces of ancient gazelle bones and evidence of an old hunting camp. But in 2024, a team of archaeologists led by Dr. Lisa Maher, University of California, Berkeley, and Dr. Danielle McDonald, University of Tulsa, made a groundbreaking find. A burial site from the Paleolithic era showing signs of early cremation practices. The most astonishing revelation was that this tomb dated back 19,400 years, far exceeding previous records of cremation. This ancient tomb was unlike any other ever discovered. Inside, scientists found the body of a woman, placed on her side, knees drawn up, nestled in a wooden hunter's hut. The peculiar part was that both the hut and the body had been burned, suggesting that this was a ritual performed with intent. According to the research team's analysis, the ancient people had constructed the hut as a dwelling, a home for the living. But then, in a sacred ceremony, they cremated the deceased within this very living space, allowing the deceased to continue existing among the living. This symbolic burial method transformed the tomb into an eternal home. Moreover, archaeological evidence around the area showed the uniqueness of this woman. At least 3 other huts with similar structures were found nearby, but all were empty. No remains, no evidence of cremation. This led researchers to believe that the cremation ritual within the hunter's hut was reserved for a select few people of high status, and this woman was one of them. She might have been an elder, a spiritual leader, or a key figure within the ancient hunting-gathering community. The way she was honored indicates that she was not just an ordinary person, but a living symbol of the community at the time. This extraordinary tomb does not merely challenge the foundation of modern archaeological knowledge. It also provides a glimpse into how ancient people viewed life and death. 2 worlds intertwined, inseparable in every breath. Perhaps from tens of thousands of years ago, humans understood that death is not the end but a return. A thought that, when deeply considered, may not be an exaggeration at all. The 1,000-year-old tomb of a Chinese couple. While constructing the Ningxiang-Shaoshan Expressway in Hunan Province, China, workers had no idea that a millennia-old piece of history lay right beneath their feet. As the excavator's bucket hit the ground, layers of dirt and stone peeled away to reveal an unusual structure. Two brick coffins, positioned close together. Inside, the remains of a couple were discovered, buried from the Northern Song dynasty, over a millennium ago. A team of archaeologists from the Hunan Provincial Institute of Cultural Relics and Archaeology quickly arrived at the site, and what they discovered next sent shockwaves through the academic community. Between the two coffins, intended to be the final resting places for the husband and wife, was a special architectural feature, a window-like structure. At first glance, it could have been simply a ventilation gap or a technical detail. However, to the trained eye of experts, it became clear that this was not a mere architectural feature. According to the researchers, this structure could be poetically described as a fairy bridge. It symbolized the connection between the two souls, allowing the husband and wife, even in death, to still see each other, converse, and continue their unfinished love story in the afterlife. The construction of a double tomb with a spiritual bridge is incredibly rare in Chinese archaeology. It reflects not only the deep bond between the couple, but also reveals an ancient cultural belief that death is not an end, but a doorway to another form of existence, a place where love continues to be nurtured. Inside the tomb, the archaeologists also uncovered several well-preserved ceramic burial items, carefully arranged. Based on the style and quality of the artifacts, experts believe the couple likely came from a wealthy family with a prominent social status during the Northern Song dynasty. After the excavation, each artifact was carefully cleaned, recorded, and sent to the museum, where their love story will continue to be told for future generations. In a world full of change and turmoil, love remains one of the most sacred and enduring forces. The 1,000-year-old tomb in Hunan is not just an archaeological discovery. It serves as a gentle message from the past, reminding us that some loves don't need words or gazes to survive. They can transcend over 1,000 years to walk together forever. The City of the Dead beneath the ocean. Off the coast of Miami, Florida, lies a coral reef. But this isn't a naturally formed marine ecosystem. Human hands have shaped it into a city of the dead beneath the ocean. This is Neptune Memorial Reef, an underwater resting place for those who love the sea. Here, the ashes of thousands of people are preserved. Before their passing, individuals who wish to could choose to spend their eternal rest beneath the water, rather than having their ashes scattered at sea. The cemetery spans a massive 1.9 million square feet, designed to resemble the mythical lost city of Atlantis, believed to lie beneath the Atlantic Ocean. This unique site quickly became the world's largest artificial coral reef, providing a new home for marine life and attracting scuba divers who visit the underwater cemetery. After cremation, the ashes are mixed with cement to form part of the reef. Skilled divers are responsible for placing the ashes and constructing symbols as requested by the families, such as statues, crosses, or bronze plaques engraved with names, birth dates, and death dates. Not only is this a one-of-a-kind cemetery, but it also plays an important role in creating a new ecosystem in the heart of the ocean. Moreover, when visiting and diving in this reef, you can experience the unique beauty of this man-made creation nestled within nature itself. Ancient tomb containing 7 skeletons and gold and silver jewelry. In a dry, barren land near the town of Huarmey, north of Lima, a discovery has shaken the scientific community. Deep within an ancient burial site, archaeologists uncovered a 1,300-year-old tomb from the Wari civilization, a powerful empire that ruled the Andes from around 500 to 1000 AD. This is not just any tomb, but a window into the past, a resting place for a powerful figure known as the Lord of Huarmey, and 6 others buried alongside him. What makes this tomb so unique isn't just its ancient age, but the way it was arranged and the treasures it contains. Surrounding the skeletons were numerous priceless artifacts, including gold and silver jewelry, copper tools like knives and axes, woven baskets, textiles, and even raw materials for making crafts. Each item reflects meticulous craftsmanship, demonstrating a developed culture that valued artisanal skill. These items led archaeologists to believe that those buried here were not only of high social standing, but also talented craftsmen who possessed the valuable knowledge and techniques of their time. According to reports from the archaeology department of Warsaw University, the lead institution behind the excavation, 6 of the skeletons in the tomb included 4 adults, likely 2 men and 2 women, along with 3 others who might have been teenagers. Notably, Some of the remains appear to have been relocated from another burial site, a rare ritual that could reflect the sacred importance of this tomb or the family and religious connections that archaeologists have yet to fully decode. What was even more surprising was the statement by Dr. Miłosz Giersz, the lead archaeologist from Warsaw University. He revealed that this is the first time they have found a burial site specifically for elite men who were also skilled craftsmen. He referred to it as a craftsman's gallery, a new and symbolic term showing that in Wari society, artisans weren't just a servant class. They could rise to prestigious positions, being honored alongside those in power. This new tomb is located near a larger burial site, which was also discovered by Dr. Giersz and his wife, Associate Professor Patrycja Pszątka-Giersz, in 2012. The previous site had caused a stir in the archaeological community when it contained the remains of 3 powerful women, dubbed the Queens of Wari. They were buried with 58 others, mostly noble women, but also some individuals from lower classes, possibly sacrificed in ancient rituals. This discovery raises a significant question. How advanced was the Wari civilization to produce both kings and queens, as well as revered artisans? Are we only scratching the surface of a complex society where art, power, and religion intertwined in every burial, every artifact hidden beneath the earth? It's hard to answer this question precisely, but with each layer of dust removed during the excavation, not only do we find artifacts, but we also uncover a new chapter in human history. Who knows, deep beneath the ground in Peru, there may still be ancient secrets waiting to be uncovered by human hands. The 1,000-year-old ancient forest beneath the river. Have you ever imagined that a pristine forest, once lush with green leaves and teeming with life, could disappear for over a millennium, only to suddenly emerge from beneath the cold, eternal ice? It may sound like a science fiction plot, but this is actually happening in Alaska. Specifically, in the southern region of the Mendenhall Glacier, an expansive glacier over 36 square miles in size, stretching deep into the frigid wilderness, early signs of an ancient forest are slowly being revealed. These aren't just scattered pieces of broken wood, these are entire upright tree trunks, many still retaining their bark and roots, standing as a living testament that this area was once a majestic forest before being swallowed by time and ice. So, what happened over 1,000 years ago? Scientists from the University of Southeast Alaska believe that the slow but powerful expansion of the glacier carried millions of tons of rocks and gravel, forming a thick sediment layer ranging from 4 to 5 feet deep. This gravel layer not only buried the forest, but also acted as a natural armor, preserving the tree trunks in near-perfect condition. Later, glaciers moved in, completely covering the forest in a massive ice sheet, freezing its history until today. For nearly 50 years, scattered tree trunks and wooden remains have occasionally been spotted emerging from the ice. However, it is only in recent years that the rapid melting of the glacier has revealed an increasing number of ancient trees. Even more surprising is that many of these trees remain standing upright as they were when alive, creating a scene both majestic and eerie, as if time itself is reversing. Professor Kathy Connor, the geographer leading the research team, stated that finding the trees in an upright position is incredibly valuable. It not only helps determine their precise age, but also offers an opportunity to understand the ancient ecosystem of the area more deeply. Her team plans to return to Mendenhall to excavate more sediment layers, search for conifer tree samples, and accurately date the forest using radiocarbon dating methods. Initially, they suspect this is an ancient forest of fir trees, but to confirm, additional samples are still being collected. The early data regarding the tree diameters and morphology suggest a much richer biodiversity than initially imagined. This raises a significant question. How many ancient forests like this one are buried beneath ice across the earth, waiting to be uncovered? We are living in a time when the ice is slowly giving way to long-hidden ancient mysteries. Not only is this a breathtaking sight, but it is also a treasure trove of valuable data that will help humanity better understand the climate, ecosystems, and history of Earth from millennia ago. Roman swords. In the heart of the arid Judean desert, where the sun blazes day and night and every inch of land seems steeped in legend, a small cave hidden behind steep rocky cliffs has revealed a secret buried for thousands of years. In the eerie silence of the Ungeti Nature Reserve, located just west of the Dead Sea, Israeli archaeologists have recently made a groundbreaking discovery. an ancient Roman weapon cache, almost perfectly preserved for over 2,000 years. The cave, with its isolated location, had been concealed by both time and the harsh terrain, remaining out of sight for centuries. Deep within a cluster of steep rocks, only daring and persistent explorers could access it. But it is precisely this inaccessibility that has preserved one of the rarest archaeological treasures from the Roman period in ancient Judea. Inside the cave, the research team found 4 Roman swords, each carefully placed in wooden scabbards. What is remarkable is that both the scabbards and the blades were preserved in exceptionally good condition, nearly defying the destructive effects of time. The handles, carved intricately from wood or metal, maintained their original shape. 3 of the swords have blades measuring approximately 24 to 26 inches long, identified as spatha swords, a standard weapon commonly carried by Roman soldiers during their military campaigns. The remaining sword has a shorter blade, measuring around 18 inches, likely designed for close combat or use in specific battle environments. Archaeologists believe that these weapons were not simply forgotten. They were likely the spoils of war taken by Jewish rebels who had risen against Roman rule in the 1st century AD. The rebels may have seized the swords after attacking a Roman camp or patrol and for some reason hidden them in this cave, perhaps to be used in a future uprising, or simply to preserve the weapons during a difficult period. But like many uprisings in history, everything stopped abruptly, leaving the swords to rest in the darkness for millennia. After the discovery of this archaeological treasure, experts from the Israel Antiquities Authority (IAA) carefully removed the artifacts from the narrow crevices and transported them to the laboratory for conservation and analysis. Initial assessments revealed that the swords were entirely consistent with the design and materials of Roman weapons used in ancient Judea, a region once a hotspot of conflict between the Roman Empire and local Jewish communities. The discovery of these swords is not just an archaeological achievement, it opens a new door to view history from a different perspective, one where stories of rebels, freedom struggles, and untold fragments of that bloody era are slowly being uncovered. How many more artifacts, weapon caches, and stories remain hidden beneath the rocks of the Judean desert? Are we standing on the verge of uncovering one of the greatest uprisings against Rome ever recorded in history? From a remote cave in a dry desert, the past speaks again, not in words, but in steel, silent yet powerful swords that are still sharp, carrying with them a message. That history, no matter how deeply buried, will find a way to emerge into the light. And we, those living today, have the responsibility to listen and uncover them to illuminate the glorious past of those ancient people. The mummified man on the yacht. On Friday, February 26, 2016, with a clear sky and calm sea, everything was perfect for a fishing trip. Christopher Rivas, 23, a resident of Barobo, a small town on the eastern coast of Mindanao in the Philippines, went fishing with a few friends. After traveling about 40 miles offshore, the group was startled by the sight of a small old yacht painted white and named Sayo. Like a ghost ship, the yacht was severely damaged, with the mast broken and lying on the deck, and part of the boat was submerged beneath the water. The group, undeterred, boarded the boat. What they found was far more chilling than they could have imagined: the mummified body of a man, naked, sitting in a chair. They immediately reported the discovery to the police. Through investigation and documents found in the yacht's cabin, the police identified the mummified man as a German sailor named Manfred Fritz Bajorat. An autopsy revealed that the 59-year-old man died from a heart attack based on forensic lab results. It was estimated that he had been dead for at least 7 days. Regarding the preservation of Bajorat's body with little visible decomposition, Professor Peter Venezis, a forensic pathologist, explained, "The atmosphere, the heat, and the salinity of the sea were all conducive to mummification. These natural factors would have worked for 2 to 3 weeks, after which the fingers and other body parts would have dried out quickly within 1 or 2 months, slowly decomposing." Quickly, this mysterious case spread across the internet. Most people had one question: how did Manfred Fritz Bajorat, a German man, end up drifting alone in the Philippine Sea? Based on the documents Bajorat left on the boat, the police were able to answer that question. It was revealed that Bajorat was an experienced sailor who had once had a happy family, but his wife died of cancer in 2010. His daughter, Nina, was then a captain on a cargo ship. According to Nina, 2 years after her mother's death, Bajarat began sailing alone on the sea, exploring for many years. Perhaps the loss of his wife and the family no longer being whole became an unhealable sadness for Bajarat. He chose to go and made the ocean his permanent home. It seems that Bajarat was serious about his solitary sea adventure. He wanted this life. He didn't enjoy the cold climate of his homeland and preferred to spend his later years searching for more hospitable weather. In the end, all he left behind were photographs and a message to the woman he loved. The footprints of the gods in the Namib Desert. Namib is the largest desert in Namibia, a country in Africa. Within it, strange, evenly spaced circles appear across the dry grasslands of the desert. Then, in 2014, similar circles were discovered near the mining town of Newman in Western Australia. However, the mysterious circles in Namibia remain the most famous and fascinating, having been studied by scientists since the 1970s. Researchers have long attempted to explain why these barren circles have existed for decades. Although significant scientific progress has been made since the 1970s, the mysterious natural phenomenon continues to baffle experts. Local people, meanwhile, have their own explanations, believing in legends of dancing fairies inside the circles that prevent vegetation from growing, or UFOs landing in the desert at night. There are many other reasonable theories about why these strange circles exist. Some scientists believe the phenomenon is related to termites, which build their nests under the circles, interacting with the surrounding vegetation. The hypothesis suggests that large termite colonies invade each other, and when colonies of similar size meet, they are unable to destroy one another, resulting in a buffer zone with no termites between them. Another plausible hypothesis is that the circles are the result of plant competition for the scarce water that falls in the Namib Desert each year. Plants provide shade and maintain water, but they also hinder the growth of other plants. As a result, these plants grow deep roots, forming a circle and extracting water from a main underground source. There are also those who believe the circles are somehow connected to the toxic euphorbia bushes that grow in the Namib. Some remnants of these plants have been found within the circles. However, the truth remains unknown. No one knows whether any of these hypotheses are correct, or if the answer lies in a combination of these theories. A recent study conducted at the circles in Australia has revealed that termites are not the cause of these barren patches, and that they are the result of abiotic processes, such as mechanical soil weathering due to heavy rainfall during storms, extreme temperatures, and evaporation. To this day, the mystery of the strange circles remains unsolved, despite significant advancements by scientists since the 1970s. Perhaps we will never truly know the purpose behind the formation of these circles. The secret graveyard at the ocean floor. A secret graveyard lies 65 feet beneath the ocean surface off the coast of Fuencaliente, on the southern shore of La Palma in Spain, captivating those who discover it. Except for professional divers, very few tourists are aware of this hidden location, and behind this graveyard lies a sorrowful story. The graveyard was created to honor 40 monks who were thrown to their deaths 450 years ago. Deep within the graveyard, visitors can find 40 crosses, each representing one of the slain monks. Looking back to the past, in 1570, these monks met their tragic fate while on a missionary journey. Unfortunately, their ship encountered pirates as it approached France. The monks were murdered and thrown overboard into the sea. The secret graveyard was only constructed about 20 years ago to commemorate those who had perished. While this coastal area attracts many tourists for swimming, most are completely unaware of the sorrowful story lying beneath the surface. Because of this, the secret graveyard has sent a chill of fear through many, especially those who venture out to sea whenever the story is told. The mysterious metal column in the desert. One of the biggest mysteries that has intrigued the public is the metal column found in the Utah desert. It was unexpectedly discovered in the middle of the Utah desert on November 18, 2020. Local officials spotted the mysterious metal structure while counting sheep from a plane. According to experts, the metal column in the desert stood about 11 feet tall. The surfaces were made of shiny silver stainless steel, rising from the ground among large red rocks in the desert. However, just a few days after the discovery, authorities in Utah reported that the mysterious metal column had disappeared without a trace. They were unclear as to who moved it. Following this mysterious event, local authorities launched an investigation. The Bureau of Land Management in Utah confirmed that the three-sided metal column was removed on the evening of November 27th, but they could not determine who had moved it. They stated that they had not dismantled the metal structure because they considered it private property. The disappearance of the column has sparked just as much curiosity as its appearance. No one has been able to provide an exact answer as to who placed the metal column in the middle of the Utah desert or how it was done. According to experts, transporting, installing, and removing the more than 12-foot-tall metal column in the Utah desert would not have been easy. The process would require considerable time, effort, and tools. Some skeptics believe the metal column may be an illegal art installation. Even stranger, one theory suggests that aliens could be the culprits. Extraterrestrial beings, who are said to appear and disappear in an instant, could have easily left behind the more than 12-feet-high column. Later, they could have removed the metal column without anyone noticing. However, this is just a hypothesis. To this day, scientists have been unable to decipher the origin of the metal column or figure out who placed it and later took it away, making this mystery one of the greatest unsolved puzzles for humanity. Dear friends, archaeology constantly surprises us with unexpected discoveries. Through new and unusual findings, it shows us ancient mysteries that we may have never known before. So, which discovery do you think is the most mysterious among those mentioned above? Leave a comment and don't forget to give us a like and subscribe to our channel so you won't miss any other exciting explorations. For now, the program comes to a close. Thank you, goodbye, and see you next time.